Yes. Excel Chapter 3 Grader. We're going to work on airline arrival analysis, which is 1.3 today. And if you look at the spreadsheet, we only have one tab. So we're going to go on down to step 1, and that's downloading the file, E03 Grader H1 Excel. And once you're there, the first task we have to do is to insert some Sparklines. So it's asking you to highlight the range G4 to G7, but also to use the data B4 to F7. So if you'll start using the data. So we're going to come over here to B4, which is right underneath the number 2010, and highlight all the way over to F7. All right, so once you've done that, that's going to be their interactive data that's going to make Sparklines. Sparklines are like a miniature visual graph to give you a visual indication of what those cells of data say. So now we go over to insert, and on the insert column, we come all the way over to Sparklines and then hit the line. Okay? I am on number 2. Insert Sparklines. Does yours look the same?
Yeah. Did you do the G4 to G7 already?
No, I didn't. The first thing I did was highlight my data range. So I came over here and highlighted B4 to F7. Then I went to insert and told Sparklines that I wanted to locate it somewhere else. And so now I click location range, which is the second, and I click in trends and I pull down from G4 to G7. And that gives your location range of where we want the Sparklines to appear.
Where did you get that Sparklines?
That Sparklines pop-up box came when we highlighted our data. We went to insert and we went to Sparklines.
It doesn't let me click on it.
Did you save your spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Once we have the chart highlighted and we have our location of G4 to G7, you'll look at the Create Sparklines pop-up box automatically gives you those dollar signs. That means absolute cell reference. We don't want to go past G7 and we don't want to go to the right of G4. So we click OK, and then small little lines appear. Oops. Small little lines appear and show you a visual view of your data. On step 3, it asks us to display the high and low points for our Sparklines. So now our Sparklines are over here in trends. And what we need to do is your design tab should come up once those are highlighted right here. And what you want to do is, can you guys still see join me?
Yes.
Okay, what you want to do is make sure those are highlighted, then come under design, and then we have a marker color. We're asked to display the high and low points, but it didn't give us colors. So all we do at this point is just click high point. Well, I'm going to put red. Let's try red. And then for the marker color, let's put low point. What should the low color be?
There's a little checkbox to the left over show.
Mm-hmm.
Just highlight high and low, it'll do it for you.
Yeah, that's what I did. What?
And then like the next one, you gotta change high point.
Does it ask you to change it?
Yeah, it only says high point stuff. You gotta change it.
Yeah. I just put those two, the high and low, and then I'll mark it.
Right over here to the left, you can click high point, and you can click low point. Okay? So we're going to go to step 4, and for the range containing Sparklines, change the high point marker color to green. And I had said red, so we're going to try that again. We're going to come to marker color. We're going to go to high point, and we're going to put green. Normally, when it just gives you a green, red, or blue, it wants you to go to standard colors. So we're going to click green. And I've done 4 steps. I want to save. And that's the end of step 4. Now it's telling us in step 5 to select the range A4 to A7. So you're going to click A4 to A7, which is basically your titles of your different times of plane arrivals. And then it asks you to also select the range F4 to F7. So you can hold your control key and click F4 to F7. You've basically grabbed the data for only the year 2014 and on-time arrivals, late arrivals, canceled, and diverted. And now it says create a pie chart, and we're going to move the pie chart to a pie chart worksheet. So we come up here to insert, and on insert, I like to go all the way over to the little bitty arrow that says see all charts. And I'm going to click see all charts. And it's recommending a pie chart. I'm going to come on over to all charts, and I'm going to go down to pie and see my different choices. You have 2D and 3D choices. It doesn't tell us which default to go for. I'd go for the first one. And once you click that, it inserts it right on top of the data. But that's not what we want. So if you'll click the white space of the chart, your design tab in chart tools will appear. And over on the far right is move chart. We want to move chart to a new sheet right up here at the top. And we want to call that new sheet pie chart. And you do want a space between the words pie and chart. You want them both capitalized but with no period. Once you finish that, you click OK. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see that you now have a new tab called Pie Chart. And that is the end of step 4. 5. Step 6. Type 2004 flight arrivals at the chart title. So up here in chart title, I'm going to go ahead and move my bar away just a second. Up here in chart title, you want to double click chart title and highlight it and type 2014 flight arrivals. And you want to save, and that's into step 6. Step 7, apply the style 12 chart style to format the chart title with a blue font and color. So if you pick the whole chart area, this white space of the whole chart area, and then come over here to chart tools, you have all these choices for chart style. You want to come down here, I believe it's the last one. It doesn't look way different. You see orange, you see gray, a little bit of yellow, and blue. Click 12 chart style, and then we want to come back to the title, highlight that title, and it's asking us to do it with a blue font color. I go ahead and go back to home, and I pick blue under the A font color, which is that darker blue. And make sure you save after you've made these changes. And that's the end of step 7. Step 8, position the legend between the chart title and plot area. So we're going to click the legend down here at the bottom underneath the pie chart. And we're going to come up to Format. And over here on the left-hand side, we can click Format Selection. And I need to bring my bar down. And what we want to do is we want to make, it's at the bottom right now, and we want to make it go to the top. So over here on the right, we can click top. Mine's not showing very well. I may have it just too large. But it takes the legend from the bottom of the pie chart and moves it up above the pie chart but beneath the title. And save. And that's the end of step 8. Add data labels. I think we need to add data labels. So step 9, we're going to come up and click our chart. When we click our chart, we get a plus. The plus gives us chart elements. It enables us to move and make more requirements. So we're supposed to add data labels, and we click the arrow there to say that yes, we want data labels. Then we click the arrow to the right of that word, and we come down to best fit. It basically, Excel determines, yes, this data label or this percentage marking should be in the pie piece or outside. If you look at the 0.25 right up here, it's up at the top because it won't fit in the yellow. So that's why it's located there. And Excel has determined that that's a best fit. Step 10, apply 12 size font and bold to the data labels. So if you click the data labels, you can just like double click them. And that'll, if you get the little dot frames around each one, then that'll enable you to go into home. You can actually hit bold. And then you can also come over here. We have Calibre font default 9. We can just scroll down to 12. It makes those numbers a little bit bigger, pop out and have meaning, and then say save. And that's the end of step 12. Step 11, format the cancel data point with dark red fill color, cancel data point. So if you look up here, you have on-time arrival is the blues. The late arrival is the orange. The canceled arrival is the gray. So you want to click that gray piece of the pie right inside there and make sure you get dots on that and not the whole thing. And then you can come over here to the right side and it'll give you fill bucket choices. You can just click the fill bucket. You can still go to home and fill bucket if you've identified that. Either way will get you there. But I'm going to go to fill over here. And then we want a solid fill, but we want a specific color. So we're going to come down here to dark red fill, which is that kind of, it kind of looks maroon. Now, there are other ways to get here. That's just one way to turn that piece of the pie dark red. And then it says explode the late arrival data point. So late arrival is not that one. That was the canceled. Late arrival is our orange. And if you'll double click that orange piece and come over here to where it says format data points, we have a bar that looks like a graph, and it enables us to change in size. So we want to explode this late arrival. We've double clicked it. So just this orange piece is, whoops. Orange piece has the dots on it. You don't want your other pie pieces to have the dots, only the orange piece. We come over to point of explosion and we type up to 5%, and you'll see how it gradually moves the chart or the piece of the pie out. And that's the end of step 11. So we needed to turn this green, and I missed that. I'm going to come back to the fill bucket. I'm going to go to a solid fill, and on my color down here, I'm going to pick green right here in the fill bucket. That should be the end of step 11. 12, we're asked to select the data range from A10 to F15. We were over on the pie chart on the last step, but when it asks us to go grab some data, we don't have any data here to grab. We have a visual representation of the data. So we're going to come on over to arrivals, which is where our original data was, and it says A10, which is way down here, the second chart, all the way to F15. So we are going to grab those totals. Select that range and create a cluster column chart. So I'm going to go back to my insert tab at the top. I'm going to come over to charts. And when I pick all charts, I'm going to come over to column. And the default choice is a cluster column. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that first cluster column. I just double click it. And it appears right on top of my data range. And that's the end of step 12.
What you said, which is leave it in there? We don't move it?
Not yet.
Oh.
No, you're fine. I'm not sure. Step 13. Type on-time arrival and late-time flight arrivals for the chart title. So we double-click in the chart title and just highlight it and just type away. On, time, and late flight arrivals. You do not want to copy-paste the blue text. The grader, the automatic grader will not recognize that if you do that. And I believe it has not asked us to move this chart yet. So on step 14, it says position the custom column chart so that the top left-hand corner is in cell A20. So I'm going to kind of expand out a little bit here. And cell A20 is right over here. You don't need to turn this a color. I just want you to see where we're shooting for. And I'm going to take it and just drag it and put it right here in the top of that cell. I'm sure there's another way to move it too, but that's one way to do it. You just drag, you click on the white space of the chart and drag that corner and get it in the top of that cell and save it so it's locked in there. You could still move it at a different time if you needed to. And now it's asking us to position the chart and then change the chart width and height. If you'll double click that chart again, your chart tools dialog box will pop up, but also will format. So you want to be able to click over here in the size and properties, which kind of looks like a black box with a little white cross on it. You click that and it asks you what size. So you just unpop size. And right now we have a height of 3 inches and a width of 5 inches. So it wants almost kind of to switch. It wants the width of 5.75. So I just highlight it and type 5.75. And it wants a height of 3.5. So again, highlight it and just type it. Once you click enter, the chart size will change and you save it to make sure those changes stay in order. And that's the end of step 14. Step 15, apply the chart filters to remove cancel, diverted, and total operations. So we want to come and get this chart up so we can see it. And then if you look at the third icon, the first icon is for chart elements, so you can add and remove and change chart things like the title and the legend. The next little icon besides the chart when we click on it is chart styles, so color schemes and that sort of thing. And then the third one is a filter. It looks kind of like a funnel. When you click that, it says, what do you want to filter on? So we don't want to filter everything. We just want to remove canceled. What were the other two? Diverted and total operations. So at this point in time, we're just going to be showing categories and then on-time arrival and late time arrival. Once we hit apply, we go down to 2 bars on our graph. Step 16, select the value axis. And the value axis, okay, right here is like your dates. Down here's your legend. Here's your title. But over here on the left where you have 6 million, 5 million, 4 million, 3 million, 2 million, and 1 million, it also looks like a white axis. It is your value axis. So if we double click that, then our format access bar appears. And what it's asking us to do is set the major units for number, if you click on the far icon that looks like a bar graph after you've clicked the legend, it gives you access options, tick marks, labels, and numbers. Right now we want to go down to numbers and expand that box. And we want to pick custom, and we want to go down to number. And then when we do that, that enables us to make some more choices. I'm saying, and I'm making a mistake. Nope. I was headed in the wrong direction. We need to go to Access Options, and under Access Options, we need to open that pop-up box. And under Major and Minor, we want to come to Major Units. Instead of 1 to the E6 power, we want to change that to 500,000. 5 zeros. We also I am on the value axis.
Isn't that the horizontal axis process?
Good guess. But see, I typed 5,500,000, and that's not right. We should just have display units of 500,000.
And then you should put millions in display units.
There we go. That looks a little better. And then to set the decimal places, we need to go ahead and go down to number. So I'm going to close Access Option and go down to number. And then down in number, we want to change decimal places to 1, which is kind of unusual. And it's, there we go. Make sure you hit Enter to apply that over on our axis. And that's the end of step 16. Step 17, add a primary vertical axis for title for number of flights. Step 17, add a primary vertical axis title. I go ahead and click millions and then come over to our chart elements. And on chart elements, click axis title. And on axis title, we want to deselect horizontal because we're just trying to focus on the primary vertical. And then we come over here and highlight and type our new title, which is number of flights. Do notice that number and flight are capitalized, but not the word of. And I'm going to say it. It's time to save. Step 18. Apply the color to chart color to the chart. So click the whole chart in the white space. And then your chart tools and design and format appear up. But the change colors it's talking about this time are here on chart styles to the left. It looks like a little color palette chart. Click the pull down menu and it's asking you to go to color chart 2, which I believe is just the second row of colors. You're going to have that gray and blue Dallas Cowboy colors right there. And you're going to save for step 8 because you made a pretty big change. You made color change. And then step 9, apply the light gradient accent 3 fill to the chart area. Now the chart area is out here in the white space. The plot area is when you click inside here where the lines are, and you can actually click each one of those individual lines too. You see how those dots come up? So click out here in the white space of the chart. And then we want to come over to the fill bucket. And we want to pick a gradient fill. And we want to pick accent 3. Accent 1. Accent 2. Accent 3, it does say light gradient, so you end up with kind of a gray bluey color when you pick light gray accent 3. Click that to apply. and scroll on down to step 20. Close the workbook, submit to my IT lab for grading. Great work. You can to the chart area back here in the back, not just to the plot area. All right.
And that's it.